My name is Chameeka Smith, and I serve as the founder and the executive director of the Brotherhood of Excellence Academy. When I get an opportunity to do a segment, my title of my segment is going to be The Gift of Education, the gift of education. So I am going to share my screen with you. So the gift of education, the gift of education. As stated before, my name is Chameeka Smith. I serve as the founder and the executive director of the Brotherhood of Excellence Academy. And I also serve as an educator, both working, having a couple of master's degrees, a bachelor's degree, and currently working on a doctoral degree in educational leadership. And so the segment that I've really decided, and I came from one of our board members, is looking at the gift of education, the gift of education. And so as you know, we are a 501c3 organization with a vision that every male will discover and fulfill their authentic destiny. We're on a mission of ending fatherless generations by preparing males for empowerment, entrepreneurship, enrollment, enlistment, and employment. We do have core values, and I typically tell my board of directors our core values is juices with an A. Juices with an A. So it is joy and unity and integrity, communication, excellence, servanthood, and accountability. I have the awesome privilege of serving under this leadership team who represents our founding board of directors. And so we're always in the process of looking for other individuals who would like to serve on our board. So please visit our website to learn more about how you can fill out an application to be a part of our board of directors. So the gift of education, I had the opportunity while I was working on my dissertation to read a book called For White Folks Who Teach in the Hood and the Rest of Y'all Too, Reality, Pedagogy, and Urban Education. And so within that book, it talked about Pentecostal pedagogy. Now, full disclosure, I grew up in the church. I am a product of the church. And so I grew up in the church. And so when I saw this in terms of being able to compare what happens in the teaching components within the Black church and how those components can easily be applicable to your learning environment and or classroom. And so Pentecostal pedagogy, I'm going to talk about roughly about 6 components that were also in the book, but I've also experienced and seen having grown up in the church. And so actively work in the room, actively work in the room. So actively work in the room in the Black church. In the Black church, typically you'll see the person who's articulating the heart of God. They'll typically start in the middle. They'll have their textbook, in that case, through the Bible, and they might have a electronic device, maybe a laptop or a iPad or some sort. Sometimes they use their phone, but they typically have that information there. But then what you begin to see is they start migrating. They start maneuvering to the left and talking to that side of the sanctuary, and then they're maneuvering to the right and they're talking to that side of the sanctuary, and then times they're walking down the aisle, and then they're coming down the steps and walking down the aisle, and what they're doing, they're actively working their sanctuary room. Because when you are actually coming from the pulpit inside and actually going within the crowd, you get different feelings and you get to sense different emotions. And then as your voices as your voice is moving up and down and making those different fluctuations, you also begin to see a flow that's taking place not only at the pulpit level, but also within the pews as well. Same is also true within your classroom. You might start at the front in terms of the initial introductory of your lesson, but then you want to kind of also work your room or your learning environment. Now, mind you, when the teacher comes around, conversations change with kids. That's just typical. Your goal is not to necessarily provide levels of correction as much as it is being able to hear. Do they have questions? Do you hear them articulating what you said in a language that they understand? Are you hearing the curricular terms that you've taught them as they're doing their group work or they're doing their cooperative learning? Or even if they're doing independent study and you're looking over and seeing what they're typing of what they're writing based upon how you have designed your classroom, you're constantly in constant contact with your students throughout the course of your lesson. so much for watching. My name is Chameeka Smith. I again serve as the Executive Director and founder of the Brotherhood of Excellence Academy. And again, thank you so much for taking this time to hear a tidbit, a word of wisdom, a leadership nugget from our broadcast, Teaching Boys and Raising Sons. If you want to know more about our organization, please take the opportunity to visit our website at www.brotherhoodofexcellenceacademy.org. Again, that's www.brotherhoodofexcellenceacademy.org. And also, if you're looking to donate to a 501c3 organization, please consider the Brotherhood of Excellence Academy. We are truly on a mission of ending fatherless generations by preparing males for empowerment, enrollment, entrepreneurship, enlistment, and employment. Join us on this journey. Thank you again so much for watching our broadcast. We'll see you next time.